All right. Um, Welcome, and your name is?
Hello, my name is Mary Diolio.
And how would you like people to know you or know about you? A little bio.
Oh, yeah, sure. So I am a clown, interdisciplinary artist. Ooh, that's hard to say. So many syllables. I'm an interdisciplinary artist. I do all sorts of performance. I do all sorts of art, and I really enjoy integrating them. I work online. I work in person. Yeah, you can catch me around Chicago.
Would you tell us where you're from?
Yeah, so I am from Dominican Republic.
Okay.
By way of rural Pennsylvania. Where
Okay.
I grew up.
And where in the city do you live? Or do you live in the city?
Yeah, I still live here in Chicago, and I'm on the south side.
Great.
Southwest.
Which neighborhood?
That's going to be Brighton Park.
Okay, I'm in Clearing.
Oh, nice.
All right. What kind? We already did what art you practice. Why do you make art?
Oh, I make art because I have to.
Mm-hmm.
It is how I think. It is how I process. It is how I deal with my emotions. It is how I deal with my anger. And it's how I relax, which is probably why I do so many different types of art. I just shift.
Yep. What are you most excited about with IdeaBox?
I'm excited about having an organization that really understands interdisciplinary and is excited about ideas and where we can go with them, connecting with the community and letting them know that they are also multi-generative artists, multidisciplinary. It's really fun to see ideas being activated to the full extent that they can be.
Great. What artists inspire you?
I'm inspired by so many artists. I would have to say a lot of artists around revolution is some of the artists that I like really study. Not only is it around their art, but what are they doing with their art? Usually they're trying to make some sort of action happen in their community, whether they're taking it on themselves or inspiring other people. So I tend to like look at those artists, and I really love Chicago artists.
Do you have one or two that you could advise other people if they're just starting to look at these particular type of artists?
Yeah, let's see. If you're starting to look at these type of artists, I like to look at the Black Panthers, their creative director.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one that decided on what they were gonna wear. He decided that they were only gonna have their photographs in like black and white. But there was also this process where they printed their own newsletters.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the style that was really interesting is they couldn't get their newsletter to be like printed perfectly every time. So they started to incorporate these really big, bold lines, which integrates into comic books, and you really see that in this new expansion of Black comic book arts. Like, there's a lot of like really cool integration between like revolutionary work and then like media arts, and then also just political justice here in Chicago.
Right, beautiful. What is your favorite craft to do?
I really love to sew. Like right now, sewing and embroidery, I think it's because I have a lot of brain space to think. I also feel really good just like operating a machine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always fascinated that like so many people hand sew, but I really love actually just operating that sewing machine.
Are you doing like pictures or textures? What kind of embroidery?
I'm kind of doing a little bit of everything right now. I'm in a massive project of creating like embroidered curtains.
Okay.
And most of my house is windows, so they're like giant, and it's multi-textural. So I'm working with felt, just making it really hard.
Yeah. Good to pick friendly
velvet,
fabrics,
right? Felt, velvet. I was looking at. I had this beautiful creation from specifically New Mexico, and it is like fabric arts, and it's almost as if it's like stuffed, but little characters.
Okay, yeah.
And of course, it's great for like scrap busting. So I've been kind of like playing around with like different types of textures. How can I make it three-dimensional? Is it gonna last my cats?
Sometimes art is ephemeral.
Absolutely.
What is your favorite art as an audience member?
Ooh, my favorite art as an audience member, I'm gonna go out there. It's gonna probably be somewhere in the flow arts and noise.
Okay.
They're two arts that I'm still not completely integrated in. Like, I'm learning some more flow things through hooping, but I don't make noise music, and I just find it so fascinating that you can just hear these different types of music in everything, and everything could be a musical instrument. I think it really really reminds me of like how I played as a child.
Great. Who do you think art is for?
I think art is for everyone. Art is a right, it's not a privilege. It is something that has helped humans throughout the dawn of time, not only like to deal with our emotions, to deal with like what's going on in our world, but to also send these messages of change. Like you can see change directly related to Renaissance movements, and those Renaissance movements being intentional things that artists put together.
As in your own practice, I know you said you're one of the compulsive artists, so do you mainly think about your art as you're making it for you and your purposes, or do you think of it with an audience in mind?
You know, I have spent most of my career making art for audiences. I mixed the game of art and commerce very early in my practice, so only recently, as a soon-to-be 40-year-old, has I decided to like actually have my own art practice just for myself and have this other level for my audience. But wow, is it hard to carve out space? I'm really understanding my students in a whole new light.
Really hard to not put yourself at the bottom of the list when you're doing stuff when your art is also your income.
Yes, and that's been really awesome as a teaching artist to really understand what my students are going through when I tell them, like, you know, just get it in there. When, Mary?
When did you know you were an artist?
I feel really blessed with this one thing that I was given by, I moved to America really young, and there was like this moment where I heard my own voice for the first time. I was around the age of 3 or 4, and the first thing I heard myself say to myself was, I'm an artist. I was like trying to hide a box of crayons that I had brought from the island, and they were really important because the case was plastic and it had a clip for the crayons to keep them separate and a sharpener, and I knew those were my tools and I needed to protect them.
That's awesome. What is the first piece of art you remember?
Yes, 2nd grade, my first life-size replica chalk art of a whale. It was also my first project management.
You had assistants?
Absolutely. My gifted and talented teacher, she was teaching us about whales. I lived in a landlocked area, but I come from an island, and I was like, but why? Why are we learning? And she's like, I don't know, Mary, this is the curriculum.
They told me you need to know about whales.
And then I was just like, but I don't understand how big it is. And she said the key words that I recognized were going to be really important for my life, which was, I don't know, figure it out. The moment she told me to figure it out, oh yeah.
That's awesome. What sense do you rely on most when making art?
I'm pretty tactile, and only recently have I realized how visual I am as I have been dealing with some contact issues.
Oh no.
Boy, did I not realize how much mismatched fonts drive me crazy. But they do, but also tactile, specifically fabric. I am a person that I struggle to buy like things online. I really need to go and touch them. Because of the possibilities. There's something about that with my artistry that anything can be anything. As long as I can figure out what it's made out of, I think that's also part of the fun.
Yes. All right. And a teacher who in particular inspired you?
Probably my gifted and talented teacher, Mrs. Felizi, if you're still out there. She was awesome. She really recognized a lot of the eccentricities of my mind before I understood what they really were. I was the only creative, gifted, and talented kid. I was with a lot of science and math young people, which were really cool, but that was not my brain. I found out I was a movement thinker pretty early on as well, which going to a standardized school, when you think and you move together, you get in trouble.
They don't like that.
Yeah. Me and my principal, we were like this.
Something you wish everyone knew.
Ooh, I wish everyone knew that art was part of how we are going to continue to learn, to continue to grow, and that play is just as important for adults as it is for young people. I find it really interesting how many things we incorporate into youth education, and then we stop them the minute you're a grown-up. No!
Yep. No more openness.
No more accommodations. What do you mean?
Yep. What is your favorite snack?
Right now, I'm really into spam musubi.
Okay. And do you have a favorite quote?
My favorite quote. Ooh, that's hard. Right now, I keep thinking of a song actually, which is one that I learned as a kid growing up in rural Pennsylvania. I'm specifically from like Lancaster,
Okay.
which is where the Amish are.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a song, "When True Simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we shall not be afraid to turn, turn, turn." I keep thinking about turning. I think it's because I'm dealing with a lot of sewing right now in my practice, and just this idea of like cyclical nature. There's always a time, there's always a place for rest, reproduction, lots of productivity, but also to lay fallow. There's times where you just need to let it all go, let it all disintegrate.
Is there anything you'd particularly like to have people go see or plug, or your website, or whatever? Your
People
socials?
should definitely come to Idea Box. I definitely want to hang out and make some things with you all. And, you know, I'm going to have some things out there in the future, but it's always going to be connected to making, play, creating things, and getting out there and having lots of fun.
All right. Well, thank you very much.